What's going on, guys? My name's Dynasty. What I got for y'all today again is another Injustice 2 video. Now, yes, indeed, today we're talking about the leaked roster for Injustice 2. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, click the link down below. About a month ago, I made a video talking all about this a lot more in depth, and now it seems like it's definitely worth noting again because more characters from that leaked list have been revealed today alone. Catwoman and Cheetah. And long story short, for those who don't want to watch the entire video I made a month ago, spare me a few seconds here. So pretty much somebody inside the art department of the studio saw like a bunch of concept art for Injustice 2. From there, he shared that with a friend, and the friend actually leaked this over on Reddit. So pretty much that's how we got this list right here. Bam! As you can see, you got 22 characters. Now, some of those characters have now been confirmed to be premiere skins through, like, you know, the advertising at the end of trailers, etc. Now, all this took place a couple of days before the first story mode trailer where we saw Darkseid come out at the very end as, like, the pre-order bonus. We also saw Supergirl, Wonder Woman going at it, Batman, Superman. So, like, the very first story mode trailer that took place, like, 4 weeks ago, a few days before that, this list came out. So this guy's called a bunch of characters. For instance, he's called Bane, he's called Poison Ivy, he's called Swamp Thing, he's called Black Canary, he's now called Catwoman, he's called, obviously, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and John Stewart, he's now called Cheetah, he's now called The Flash. From there, he has Brainiac, even Damian Wayne. Last but not least, he also called Power Girl. Of course, now she's also a premiere skin, just like John Stewart. And at the very bottom, it says there, finally, he claims the main villain of the story is Brainiac. And from what we can tell so far, Brainiac clearly is the main bad guy from everything we've seen inside of Injustice 2 so far in terms of like story mode details. So this guy called all this as of right now, and he's been correct now. I know it's kind of crazy, and at first I was like, this can't be real because, I mean, some of these characters are really easy to call. For instance, not too hard to say that both popular Green Lanterns and Hal Jordan and John Stewart had a chance to be into the roster, but it's crazy because they're both in the roster now, despite them just being like a good, educated guess. The likes of Catwoman as well. I thought Catwoman personally was going to come back, so some of these characters, just due to like teases and fans of man, you knew were going to return, but then he goes in depth and saying characters like Cheetah. Like, Cheetah was revealed today, guys, and that's kind of a unique character. Even, like, last week, when Black Canary was confirmed, though she's been in demand for a while, she is a very unique and character that you just don't think of when you think of, like, the entire DC list of characters. Black Canary is, like, one of those, and like I mentioned, this guy called all of this days before we saw the first story mode trailer, so Poison Ivy, Bane, even yesterday in Swamp Thing. Now, then you throw in the other whole, the variable here is that you throw in all the premiere skins from this list right here, so obviously you take off like John Stewart and Power Girl, and you add the characters that are confirmed right now. That gives you a give or take 30 or so characters, plus the 9 DLC characters that we do not know so far, plus the pre-order bonus being Darkseid, he'd be like the 10th character. That gives you more or less like a 40 character roster, and the game's meant to have like a 40 character roster, so the roster spots also add up, which is why originally back then it was like, oh, if these characters get revealed, then this is definitely real. And now they're getting revealed, so it's like, wait a second, this list might actually be, you know, authentic. And me personally, I think it probably is, and that's probably gonna piss off a ton of people. And I know even dating back to originally when this list was like revealed, it was like Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing can't be in the same game. They fight the exact same way, they have the same traits, the same characteristics, and obviously based on the gameplay we saw today for Poison Ivy and the gameplay we saw for Swamp Thing yesterday, though they have very similar traits and they both use, you know, the power of the green, they fight completely different now. That can also be said about the likes of Mr. Freeze and Captain Cold. Originally, people were like, well, you can't have both Captain Cold and Mr. Freeze. And after seeing the comparison, the parallels between both Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing from yesterday and today, safe to say Mr. Freeze and, you know, Captain Cold could just be their own standalone characters. Worst case scenario, one of those characters is just like a premiere skin. You know what I mean? Give or take. So a lot of these things are now making sense now that we've seen these, you know, reveal trailers, and now that, you know, more times passed by. And it's crazy because a month ago, this is just like a list of characters that might be the roster. And week by week, as more of these characters get revealed, it seems more apparent that this is the leaked list for Injustice 2. Now, like I mentioned, there are some cons to this because there's characters missing that I know you guys want to see. There is no Red Hood, and Red Hood has been like the most in-demand character since Injustice 1, and Red Hood is not on this list now. The good thing is we have 9 DLC characters confirmed. 2 of those are probably going to be guest characters, hopefully like Spawn and Sub-Zero, so it's like understandable guest characters from there. You still got 7 characters that are going to be in the DC lore. One of those characters has to be Red Hood, and it makes sense because obviously Red Hood is in such high demand. Now, it's kind of scummy how they're like, yeah, we know you guys want him, but if you really want him, buy the Injustice 2 Season Pass, and that could be like the selling point for their DLC pack. And that honestly makes sense from a business standpoint for them to do. We know how WB is, especially how they actually treated DLC for MKXL. So would we be really too shocked if they did that for a fan favorite like Red Hood? I really wouldn't be. So yeah, guys, it's being more apparent as these reveals go by that this leaked roster really is the leaked roster for Injustice 2. So I kind of want to put this video together to be like, hey, in case you haven't seen this list, it appears like these are all the characters inside of Injustice 2. There are some good ones there. Firestorm, I'm looking forward to seeing revealed. I actually thought Firestorm was going to be revealed yesterday, but it was Swamp Thing because they were like, yeah, the next reveal is going to be Lit or something like that. So I was like, Lit, Firestorm. It wasn't. But I mean, there are some pros and cons. The roster could be a bit better, but I'm hoping the DLC makes up for, you know, some of these weird spots where like a character like Cheetah makes the list, like Scarecrow as well. I'm just like scratching my head here. So if Scarecrow gets confirmed next week, I'm telling you 110%, this is a like legit list. Now if this guy starts getting some of these characters wrong, I think that's probably a good thing because this looks to be a bit better. But for all we know, what if these characters are DLC? So then this list could go on for months, guys. Even when we see the final roster, what are these characters? Some of them are DLC characters. You know what I mean? So like we don't know. We don't know. But right now it's looking like this list is real, and this is actually the roster for Injustice 2. Of course, what do you guys have to say about that? Do you think this list is real? If this is a real list, how do you feel about it? What do you think? Of course, let me know inside the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like on it. Of course, subscribe for some more Injustice 2 content. Until next time, I've been your host, I've been Dynasty. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.